officially introduced Jaylen Brown to the Philadelphia media yesterday, a full month after securing the five-time All-Star and a blockbuster deal with the Celtics. During the press conference, Brown addressed his former running mate Jason Tatum. Take a listen.
We won a championship together. So anybody that you win a championship, you would think like that's what, a brotherhood or a lifelong legacy would entail. Obviously, there's ups and downs in any type of relationship for sure. But on my end, it's nothing but respect. Besides when he plays the Sixers, I hope he does well. But other than that, everything for me is just based in respect.
Have you guys been able to talk?
Not really.
So there you have it, Monica McNutt. We thank you very much for getting up with us now. It doesn't look like you're getting your nails done, so we have your full and undivided attention here. Your thoughts when you hear Jaylen Brown at the introductory presser?
I am not surprised. And gee whiz, for him, by the way to move on. I'm not surprised by anything that Jaylen Brown had to say. And I think as much as we want this idea of championship together, brotherhood, best friends fight for one another, that's just not the reality in life or sports. I think things can run their course, and that's okay. I don't think he was disrespectful of Jaylen Brown. Jason Tatum has not been, and vice versa. Jason Tatum has been very respectful of what they've been able to achieve, but it is time to move on. I mean, ultimately, Jaylen Brown, and he went on to say he wants an opportunity to win championships. And so, yeah, just like life, you get thrown a few curveballs, so the same happens in sports. But I thought that this press conference was cool.
All right, Brown also spoke about his new teammates and what it will be like to play alongside LeBron James. Take a listen to this.
I mean, to be honest, it doesn't have to be anybody's team. It just needs to be based in respect and work. And that's kind of like my approach. I want to earn everybody respect and trust, which take time. You know what I mean? Obviously, it's a lot of guys with talent, it's egos, but to win, you got to be able to sacrifice. I'm looking forward to learning from LeBron. I'm looking forward to learning from all those guys.
Monica, you got a lot of 25-point scorers on this team, as Kevin Durant has already spoken about. What's going to be the biggest key to building chemistry amongst this group?
Exactly what Jaylen Brown said, and he, obviously, along with LeBron James, is a guy that has been to the mountaintop. But I think the basketball IQ of this group as a collective for it, I'm really, really excited. There will be a variety of ways that they can play and a willingness to sacrifice. Plus, when I just look at it schematically, their ability to play fast, that's one of the easiest ways to make sure that you're sharing the sugar, so to speak, because guys are running up and down the floor, and that was one of their strengths last year. Now, obviously, they will have very distinct styles in which they can play when they're fast versus when Joel Embiid is on the floor if he's healthy. But I'm excited to see how this is going to look in Philly.
Speaking for all Sixers fans, I think I echo our sentiments when I say I can't wait to see how it all unravels down the line. Monica McNutt, great stuff as always. Coming up, the same.
Nearly thrown away. Great opportunity. Are you kidding me? Clark, her pass taken away by Wilson. Chelsea Gray for three. Boom! Chelsea Gray at the horn once again. This time for the win.
We welcome back Monica McNutt. Monica, what an ending to that game last night, from the missed free throws to Chelsea Gray with not one but two game-winning shots, or game-tying shots, I should say, as well in the first case. What was your reaction to how it all went down?
What an incredible game. I mean, there's so many thoughts running through my mind in the course of this game, because at one point, the Aces were down 20 points in the first half. They make a comeback. They take the lead. The game is seesawing. They got up double digits in the third, in the early parts of the fourth, and I was commending the Fever for their comeback, for their fortuitiveness, if you will, in terms of potentially winning that ball game. And then Chelsea Gray, not once, but twice, hits crazy shots. And I think as I'm watching this, both of these teams are in the conversation of contenders. Now, I do have a different tier to my contenders, but this is why, no matter how the Aces might look, one, they have a four-time MVP on their team, but they just have a pedigree and a knack for turning it on in the second half of the season and finding out ways to win. And Chelsea Gray demonstrated that in big-time fashion last night.
That's the thing. They were left for dead last season, and then they closed in spectacular fashion and just blew the rest of the league away. I'm curious, on the Fever side of the ball, we all think Caitlin Clark, but when it comes down to the end of the game, is she the foregone conclusion as to the player who should have the ball in their hands, or is there a better option?
The nature of sport is always to reflect and analyze your options. This is interesting because, yes, Caitlin Clark has the green light. Kelsey Mitchell also can make plays like this, but what is unique here is you're looking at her going up head-to-head versus a multi-time defensive player of the year in the league in Asia Wilson. And so that was a really, really difficult matchup. Now, if she had come down and hit one of her long threes, obviously we're looking at this thing very differently. But I think when you have the speed, the power, the ability, the scoring ability of both Kelsey Mitchell, Aaliyah Boston, and Caitlin Clark, I'm sure that as they discussed this, as Caitlin admitted, the free throws were a big deal. And there probably was an option that they maybe should have been exploring in that moment otherwise. But we always have the opportunity to go back and look at it. Asia Wilson made a hell of a defensive play, and then Chelsea Gray hits a big shot.
As great as that game was, it wasn't the only game in the W last night. Monica, sit tight because I want to get to another one we should be looking at here. Sparks taking on the Lynx. Final seconds, first half. Olivia Miles, she's going to get to the wing. Seeking the three at the buzzer, fired up. Look at that. Great move, great step back. Lynx are going to take an 8-point lead into the half. Miles is going to score 23 in the game. Let's jump to the fourth. Game tied at 79. Cameron Brink, the catch, knocking down from the mid-range. Sparks are going to grab a lead. Next Lynx possession, 81-79. Missing the three. Nafisa Collier grabbing the board, kicking it out to Kayla McBride. She's going to knock down the three. Lynx up one. Under 3 minutes remaining. Sparks trailing by 1. They're in transition. Just the great feed and trail there for the layup. Under 2 minutes to go. The Sparks again. The dribble, the step, the shot, pull-up jumper. Sparks are going to hold on to win this one, 89-82. Now, despite the loss, the Lynx are the current title favorites at even money plus 100. The Aces trail behind at plus 425. Monica McNutt, slide back in. Would you pick the Lynx or the field to win the title this season?
Oh, Fortin Bob, you're really doing this to me. I still got to go field, but my aforementioned tiers of contenders, the Lynx are at the top in a category by themselves based on how they've played so far in the season. And that's even given the loss last night. They have been terrific both by the metrics of offensive rating and defensive rating. And Olivia Miles has been a vision. I mean, she's been so fantastic. And all they did, Fortin Boss, since the couple of games before the All-Star break, is add an MVP candidate and Nafisa Collier back into the fold. And so just for folks that maybe might be recently tuning into the Minnesota Lynx, they are incredibly talented and they have legitimately one of the best coaches in the league. They're only going to continue to get better as we approach playoffs.
Tremendous insight as always. McNutt, we love you. Thank you so much for your time this morning. Enjoy your weekend. We've got WNBA action for you tomorrow. Speaking of the weekend, as the Indiana Fever face the Chicago Sky. 3:30 p.m. Eastern on ABC and the ESPN app. WNBA Countdown gets things started at 3. Coming up.
Jaylen Brown's first press conference as a Philadelphia 76er gave us an interesting look at where he stands with Jason Tatum and the Boston Celtics. Brown did not attack his former teammate and made it clear that he still has respect for everything they accomplished together. However, the fact that they have barely spoken since the trade suggests that their relationship is no longer what it once was. For Brown, the priority now appears to be moving forward and proving himself in a new environment. The biggest challenge in Philadelphia will be creating chemistry among a roster filled with star power. Brown understands that having LeBron James, Joel Embiid, Tyrese Maxey, and other talented players means everyone will have to sacrifice at different times. His comments about earning trust, rather than simply expecting leadership responsibilities, show that he understands the importance of establishing himself within the group. LeBron's presence could be especially valuable for Brown. Playing alongside one of the greatest players in NBA history gives him an opportunity to learn how to manage pressure, expectations, and championship-level basketball. Brown has already proven that he can perform on the biggest stage, so adding LeBron to the equation could potentially help him take another step as a leader. The WNBA matchup between the Aces and Fever was another example of why the league has become so entertaining. Las Vegas looked like it was in serious trouble after falling behind early, but the Aces showed their experience and resilience. Chelsea Gray once again delivered when the game mattered most, while Alja Wilson made the type of defensive play that can completely change the outcome of a close game.